Now there are the different configurations as per API code. So broadly it is classified as a between bearing. So abbreviation it is used a BB type, overhung pumps OH type, and vertical suspended or submerged pumps it is a VS type. So these are the three broad classification of configuration under the API 610. Now under this three classifications BB, OH and VS, again these are sub classified BB1 to BB5, OH1 to OH6, and VS1 to VS7. So if you see here, these are the total 18 configurations are there under this API 610 code. So obviously when we have the different configurations, each configuration has its own benefit, and at the same time it will have some limitation also from the application point of view. So this is the basic, these are the basic configurations. Now we will see the few of the configurations which are more commonly used in the industry. The first thing is a between bearing pump, which is a BB1 type. Now, in this case, if you see, if you can see the cursor, this is the one nozzle and this is the another nozzle. Now, both the nozzles here, they are integral part of the lower half of the casing. If you can see, this is the partition line. So this is the partition line of this casing. It means if you see these bolts, if you remove these bolts, you can remove this upper half of the casing. Similarly, if you see here the bearing housing also, it is the bolted connection here. So we can remove this part also. Now why it is called the between bearing? Because the impeller inside this casing, which is mounted on the shaft, it is supported by two bearings. One, this is the one bearing and this is the another bearing. So the configuration wise, it is a between bearing pump because impeller is mounted on the shaft inside this casing between the bearings. So this pump has its own advantage and it has own limitation. Advantage is this is very right selection from the maintenance aspect because in this condition for this particular pump you need not remove the piping connection here because simply by removing these bolts, casing bolts, this bearing housing upper half, both the sides, you can simply remove all the three halves and you can take out the from this is the coupling end. So if you remove here, you use the spacer type coupling by simply removing the spacer from here. And if you remove these three parts, you can remove the rotary assembly for the maintenance because casing as such doesn't require a regular maintenance. So no need to remove the casing from the place. So this is the biggest advantage that maintenance, these pumps are considered as a maintenance friendly. Now second configuration is this is the cut section, this is the impeller, this is the suction nozzle, this is the discharge nozzle. If you see here, the cut section is shown this upper half, this bearing housing also can be removed. So this is the bearing. This side it is a seal, this white one. This is one bearing, this is one bearing, and between this is the impeller. Now if you see here in this case BB1 type, the liquid is being sucked from this side and this is equally distributed. So liquid is entering from this side as well as this side. So this is called a double suction pump, which has its own benefit. Second type is it is a BB3, which is a multi-stage pump. Now again here if you see in the previous slide you saw it was a single impeller. Here it is the number of impellers mounted on the shaft. So similar type here, this is the one bearing, this is another bearing, and all the impellers are mounted on the single shaft within this casing. We'll see in the cut section. This is the cut section of the BB3 type pump. So if you see here, this is the first impeller, this is second, this is third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. So this is the BB3 type. It is a multi-stage pump. So multi-stage pump is all similar to the BB1. This BB3 type also it is called the axial split. Means upper half of the casing. If you see here, these are the number of bolts connections. So if we remove these along with the bearing housing also, so once you remove the upper half of the casing and both the bearings upper half, we can remove the rotor for the maintenance. So BB1 and BB3 both are the axial split. BB1 is the single stage and BB3 is the multi-stage. So multi-stage pump is used for the high head, whereas the BB1 is used for the larger flow but a lower head. Now second configuration is a OH2. Now we saw the between bearing, means impeller was mounted in both the cases between the two bearings. But here it is called the overhung pumps. So name itself suggests that the bearing is only on one side. These are not the two bearings. Both the bearings, it is on the single side. So it is kind of the cantilever arrangement. That's why it is called the overhung pumps. So this is the suction, this is the discharge. This is the bearing housing. Here is this portion you see. This is the mechanical seal, and this is the mounting arrangement on the base plate pedestal. We'll see the cut section of this pump. You see, this is the suction is taking place from here. This is the discharge, and this part is the impeller. So liquid is entering from this side, and it is going after to this volute. It is passing through like this, and it is coming out of this discharge nozzle. And these are the bearings. You can see these are the two bearings here, but it is on the same side, and this is the mechanical seal here. So this is the OH2 pump.